This is the Everyday AI Show, the everyday podcast where we simplify AI and bring its power to your fingertips. Listen daily for practical advice to boost your career, business, and everyday life.
What is OpenAI raising $6.5 billion for? Apple Intelligence is kind of out, and California and the White House are trying to lead on AI safety, but will it even matter? We'll tackle those topics today and a whole lot more on Everyday AI. What's going on, y'all? My name's Jordan Wilson, and I'm the host of Everyday AI. Before we get started, though, a quick word from our partners at Microsoft. So, why should you listen to the Work Lab podcast from Microsoft? Because it's made for leaders who know they must adapt to stay ahead. Work Lab is the place to find real-world lessons and actionable insights to prepare you for the next phase of AI at work. That's WORKLAB, no spaces, available wherever you get your podcasts. All right, speaking of podcasts, this is for you. This is Everyday AI, is your daily live stream podcast and free daily newsletter helping us all learn and leverage generative AI. So if you are listening on the podcast, trying to grow your company and career, thank you for joining. Make sure to check out your show notes for more, as well as a link to our website at youreverydayai.com. There you'll find a spot to sign up for our free daily newsletter, as well as literally hundreds of episodes. It is a free generative AI university that you can go read and learn at any time. So thank you for joining. And to our live stream audience, thank you all for tuning in as well. Rolando, Joe, and Jay, Brian, Tara, Michael, everyone else, thank you for tuning in. You can spend hours literally every single day trying to keep up with AI news. I mean, we do it, so you don't have to. And on Mondays, most Mondays, we do our AI news that matters. This is your one-stop weekly recap to not just get caught up on what's going on in the world of AI news, but how it applies to your company or career and how you can get ahead. All right, so let's get straight into it and talk about that huge number, $6.5 billion. So according to reports, OpenAI is expected to raise approximately $6.5 billion at a staggering pre-money valuation of $150 billion, marking what could be the largest venture capital round in history. All right, so this funding is notable as it surpasses the previous record, reportedly, of $6 billion raised by Elon Musk's XAI earlier this year. Yeah, and we've seen, obviously, Elon Musk, former co-founder of OpenAI, getting in a couple spats, both publicly and seemingly through lawsuits with OpenAI. So this new funding round comes amid a backdrop of immense interest in generative AI, with the company reportedly turning down billions of dollars in oversubscribed or overcommitted funding. So Thrive Capital is leading the investment, contributing just over $1.25 billion, which includes funds from a special purpose vehicle. Other potential backers include major players like, this is a who's who of AI right here, Apple, NVIDIA, and obviously Microsoft, indicating strong confidence in OpenAI's future prospects. The minimum investment required to participate in this round is reportedly set at $250 million, highlighting the high stakes involved. This funding round's valuation of $150 billion is compared to the entire U.S. VC market's total under management just about 25 years ago in 1999, which contributed to the internet bubble. Yeah, so it's more than all of that. That's wild. Even for more context, just look at 10 years ago. So the amount that OpenAI right now is aiming to raise in this round is equivalent to the total funding received by all startups in New York, Texas, and Florida combined 10 years ago. So OpenAI is raising money, as previous reports have indicated the company is on pace to lose up to $5 billion this year. So yeah, that was a single report, and we haven't really seen a lot outside of that. So is that the reason they're raising $6.5 billion? Well, I mean, the reality is just about everyone is trying to throw money at OpenAI, and that is why the funding round is oversubscribed by billions of dollars, and that's led OpenAI to implement a stringent selection process for investors. So the company is scheduled to notify, it's like, it's like winning a lottery, apparently, right? OpenAI is choosing like, yeah, we'll take your billion. We won't take your billion. So the company is scheduled to notify potential backers today about their participation status. So yeah, pretty wild, right? And we're going to talk about their new O1 model a little bit later, but the timing of that, right? Because we've heard about this potential huge record-breaking funding round now for a couple of months, but obviously the timing, we're kind of waiting until seemingly until releasing their O1 model, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit. All right. Speaking of big companies trying to make a splash with AI, Apple has kind of just released Apple Intelligence, well, at least the public beta for its latest operating systems, marking a significant step in integrating advanced AI features into its devices. So this is pretty newsworthy, as this now is officially opening up generative AI capabilities for potentially now billions of iPhone users. So let me just preface this. This is a beta. So they just released this over the weekend. So you do have to access and sign up for the beta program. So this isn't a normal, don't go, checking your phone and say, oh, I have AI now on my iPhone. It's not like that. So it is just the public betas of iOS 18.1, iPad OS 18.1, and then Mac OS Sequoia 15.1. So a lot of new, at least new tools for Apple when it comes to AI, like text rewriting tools and a revamped Siri design. Also, there is a new cleanup tool for photos that have been introduced, allowing users to remove unwanted objects from their photos, enhancing the photo editing experience. So to access these betas, users must register on Apple's beta software program site. I believe that's beta.apple.com, enabling them to download and install updates directly from settings. So yes, you do have to sign up for the beta program and then sign up for the early access to Apple Intelligence. Yeah, if you hear or see people, there's probably going to be a lot of news articles now, because this is the first time that users will actually have access to Apple Intelligence, but not everyone, just those who are signing up for the beta program, developers as well. So here's the other thing, y'all, and we've talked about this on the show a lot. There's literally nothing new here, right? These are all, I'd say probably the two or three biggest updates coming with this Apple Intelligence are kind of the ability to improve your written text kind of wherever you're at. I would say the ability to summarize and prioritize messages and notifications. And then, I mean, there's a lot of other, Siri improvements, but not everything is rolling out in this 18.1 update. So we will see. I didn't get a chance to do this myself, but we will see what's kind of available now, probably in the newsletter by the time you read it today, versus what will be in the next beta. And I believe that one will be in October. And then most updates, at least here in the US, will be rolled out, I believe, by February of 2025. So yeah, very slow rollout here for Apple Intelligence. But y'all, it's out. Go play with it. See if this changes your workflow. But you do, for the iPhone variation, you do have to have at least an iPhone 15 Pro or newer, or the new iPhone 16 that was just released a few days ago. So if you are on the Mac, looking at the Mac operating system beta for Apple Intelligence, you do have to have a computer with an M1 chip or higher, and then obviously update your software. So yeah, I'm curious. Douglas is saying here, you're a Mac guy, Jordan. Are you signed up for the beta? Yes, I am signed up. I think I was preparing for my show last night, and I have a couple different computers that I use. So yeah, it did finish downloading, and then I was so tired. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take a look at this tomorrow after doing the show. So yeah, I'm curious if any of you out there have already dived into this Apple Intelligence beta. All right. So the Biden administration is set to host a global AI summit on safety in November. So pretty big news here. The White House is set to host a pretty significant global safety summit on AI in November, reflecting the urgent need to address the evolution of AI technology and its obviously associated risks. So the summit will take place in San Francisco on November 20th and 21st, co-hosted by U.S. Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo and Secretary of State Antony Blinken. So government scientists and AI experts from at least 9 countries and the EU are expected to participate, signaling a collaborative international effort to tackle AI challenges. So this meeting aims to establish safety, security, and trust in AI, with Raimondo emphasizing the need for rules that govern AI usage to be based on those principles. So representatives from the US, UK, Australia, Canada, France, Japan, Kenya, South Korea, Singapore, and the UE will reportedly attend, but China, a major player in AI development, is notably absent from that list. The timing of this summit is obviously significant as well, occurring just shortly after the U.S. presidential election, which I believe is on November 5th, and ahead of a larger AI summit in Paris scheduled for February. So a key focus of the summit will be the establishment of a global AI incident response network designed to rapidly address and contain potential AI system failures or unintended consequences across international borders. Don't get this, don't mistake this, y'all. This isn't laws. This isn't legislation, right? All this is a public front by the U.S. government to say, yeah, we're doing something about AI. That's the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand. I mean, whether you're from the U.S. or not, I was a former journalist. I covered politics, at a pretty high level, and people don't understand. For any meaningful legislation to come out of the U.S., it is probably going to take minimum 5 years. I would say probably a lot longer. So, don't expect any new laws, rules, or regulations. This is just kind of, world superpowers coming together and, kind of having unofficial rules, right? So they're kind of writing an unofficial rule book that they hope everyone will follow. But these are not laws or actual regulations that are going to be put in place anywhere. Sip of water. That's fresh. All right. Speaking of California and government trying to take bold steps against AI, California Governor Gavin Newsom has signed, I think 9 bills in total, but 3 pretty new ones aimed at addressing the growing threat of artificial intelligence-generated deepfakes in political advertising, particularly as the 2024 election approaches. Here now in we're a month and a half away from elections here in the U.S. So this move underscores the urgency for protecting electoral integrity in an increasingly crazy world with AI and deepfakes. So a new law prohibits the creation and distribution of deepfakes related to elections within 120 days before election days and 60 days after, allowing courts to halt distribution and impose civil penalties. Well, why is this important? Well, all of the main social media networks are based in California. So large, not all of them, but most of them, and tech companies as well. So large social media platforms will be required to remove deceptive content under this groundbreaking law set to take effect, marking California as the first state to implement such regulations. Also, political campaigns must disclose if their advertisings contain AI-altered material, promoting transparency. So this legislation is obviously timely, and it follows Newsom's commitment to tackling election deepfakes after a lot of controversy. So a controversial video from Elon Musk, obviously the owner of Twitter, now X, that featured altered images of Vice President Kamala Harris, as well as former President Donald Trump, releasing similar manipulated with AI photos of his opponent in Kamala Harris. So the California law's unique provision extending protection for 60 days after an election addresses concerns also about post-election misinformation campaigns, which have become increasingly prevalent in recent weeks. Gosh, it's going to be a mess. So buckle up. All right. So Jony Ive and Sam Altman, new details about their collaboration on an AI hardware project and potentially raising $1 billion. So Jony Ive's partnership with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, and Jony is the famed Apple iPhone designer, if you don't know. Also, I feel I'm always mispronouncing his name. Anyways, so Ive's reported partnership with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is marking a pretty significant development in the intersection of design and AI, drawing attention from the tech community on what this new AI-enabled hardware project could look like. So Ives has confirmed he is collaborating. So yeah, we've just heard a lot of reporting dating back to last year, but finally he has confirmed in a New York Times piece that he is collaborating with Sam Altman on a new AI hardware project. So reportedly, this project, they've already received $1 billion in funding, and the team is up to 10 employees, including key figures from the original iPhone development teams. So Love From is Ive's design firm, and it is leading the project, which is based in a 32,000 square foot office in San Francisco. So not exactly, 32,000 for 10 employees. So that makes me wonder if they're actually going to be doing anything with hardware in there. That's a huge building for 10 people. And also discussions between Ive and Altman have centered on how generative AI can create a new computing device that surpasses traditional software capabilities. Previous rumors suggested the device could draw inspiration from touchscreen technology and the original iPhone, although specific details remain vague. I don't know what this device could be, right? We've seen the AI hardware devices so far do really bad, right? So the Humane Pin has reportedly flopped. The Rabbit R1 didn't get good reviews. So I'd say aside from Meta's collaboration with Ray-Bans on the Meta AI glasses, I don't think a lot of AI-enabled hardware has fared significantly well. So should be interesting what form factor this device might be. Hey, live stream audience or podcast audience, right? If you're listening on the podcast, I always put my email and my LinkedIn in there. Let me know, what do you think? What is this new AI-powered hardware going to be? If it's not going to be a phone, is it just going to be a device? I don't know. To me, even though I love AI, I love technology, I don't see myself carrying a third-party device unless it's something that just is easily, attached to my home computer. Otherwise, I don't really see a need for it or really a use case, if I'm being honest. All right, but something that I do have a use case for, I loved the new episode. If y'all didn't listen to it, you got to go check it out. But a quick word from our partners at Microsoft and the WorkLab podcast. So the WorkLab podcast from Microsoft is made for leaders who want to understand how work is changing. Effective leaders adapt, they stay ahead of trends, and they embrace any edge they can get. They also know that AI-powered organizations will be better at spotting opportunities, creating new products and business models, and maximizing value. So for real-world lessons and actionable insights to help you stay ahead, check out the WorkLab podcast. That's WORKLAB, no spaces, available wherever you get your podcasts. Yeah, they just launched the new season. It was fantastic. So make sure you go give that a listen. All right, listen to this. Huge partnership between Lionsgate and Runway. So in a significant move for the film industry, major Hollywood studio Lionsgate has formed a partnership with AI firm Runway to create a custom model trained on Lionsgate's extensive film and TV archives. So this collaboration represents a growing trend among Hollywood studios to leverage AI technology for production efficiency. So this partnership is the first of its kind, at least publicly announced, focused on developing a video model exclusively for Lionsgate's use. So the deal involves fine-tuning video generation models with Lionsgate's owned content, primarily for pre-visualization and also complex visual effects. Unlike typical data licensing agreements, this partnership allows Lionsgate to maintain control over its IP while enhancing production capabilities. Current applications of these AI models are expected to include generating storyboards, animations, and complex special effects, which can be costly and time-consuming. The deal, however, does not include replicating actors' likenesses, adhering to legal considerations regarding actor consent and IP rights for those actors, which we just talked about that on the show last week, some new laws from California. Also, reportedly, 6 other major Hollywood studios are reportedly pursuing similar fine-tuning initiatives, indicating a broader industry shift toward AI integration. Y'all, I told everyone about this a year ago, but well, not about this one, but I said AI generated video, literally in 2023. I talked about my bold predictions for 2024. And I said AI powered video is going to be mainstream. It's going to be coming to theaters and Netflix and everywhere that you watch your videos in 2024. And at the time, the technology was not there. And I don't think most people believe me, but here you go. A name brand studio already entered into a partnership, and presumably they're going to start using this technology on films this year. So pretty big news. And speaking of news with Runway, so both Runway and its closest competitor, I'd say Luma Labs, have announced their APIs for videos. Also, Runway announced their video-to-video model, and it is so good. All right, but both Runway and Luma Labs are stepping up the game in AI video generation by releasing APIs for their latest model. So that's Runway's Gen 3 Alpha Turbo and Luma's Dream Machine. So this limited access for API could soon unlock a flood of new AI video applications, enabling developers to create tools that generate bespoke video content with ease. So essentially, this is like wrappers, right? You've seen all these, GPT wrappers over the last couple of years, right? Where essentially other companies slap a new UI, a new UX on a certain technology, and, they hope to call it a new product. So that's what we're seeing here with Runway and Luma Labs. So in the coming months, when you see probably, I would assume, dozens of new AI tools saying, a new video tool, it's probably just actually Runway or Luma Labs. So this is the first time one of the big players in the AI video kind of scene has announced general API access. Speaking of partnerships, here's a $30 billion one. So a significant partnership has been formed between Microsoft and BlackRock. So a $30 billion AI infrastructure investment partnership to create the Global AI Infrastructure Investment Partnership. I don't know if that's GAIIP or if we're going to have to just spit out that whole phrase. So this new partnership aims to bolster American competitiveness through substantial investments in AI infrastructure. So this initiative underscores the growing confidence in AI technology and the potential on the economy. So the partnership has established a $30 billion fund dedicated to developing essential infrastructure for AI, including energy projects and data centers. So this is also a little timely here, right? Because we talked about on the show last week as well, Microsoft reportedly revitalizing the 3 Mile Island nuclear plant. So yeah, a big kind of partnership here to go all in on these data centers. So the data centers are crucial for the AI economy and will be a primary focus of this new $30 billion partnership. And also, the goal here is to eventually mobilize $100 billion in total investments in this project, which includes debt financing to support new AI infrastructure initiatives. So the rapid growth of computing requirements for AI has also caused some concerns about energy consumption and emissions, with some firms experiencing increases of up to 50% of power consumption. So yeah, we've been talking about this here on Everyday AI for a very long time, but generative AI and the GPUs that all of these systems need, right? So whether we're talking about ChatGPT or Runway or Gemini, or maybe your company is using some sort of proprietary AI model or building your own. It all requires a lot of GPUs and powers in inference to train all these models, right? So power is going to be something that is going to become increasingly talked about through the rest of 2024. All right, will we be talking about this new model, Quinn 2.5? So Alibaba last week launched more than 100 AI models. Yes, more than 100. But the big one here is the Quinn 2.5 series. That is a groundbreaking collection of 13 advanced AI models that really aim to redefine open source capabilities. So this new series has already outperformed Meta's Llama 3.1 in key benchmarks. So Quinn from Alibaba is really trying to now be the leader in open source AI. So the Quinn 2.5 series features 13 separate models that cater to various applications, including coding and mathematics. That's really, it looks like, at least looking at the benchmarks, that's where this new model really thrives. So notably, these new models from the Chinese firm Alibaba have surpassed Meta's Llama 3.1 405B. So essentially Meta's top open source model. So it's surpassed that and has shown superior performance on the live bench AI benchmarks. So these new models from Alibaba are available in sizes ranging from 1.5 billion to an impressive 72 billion parameters, providing options for different user needs and computational resources. So yeah, that's got to be the highlight here. So we'll see how Meta responds, and we'll see once other benchmarking services go through and start benchmarking this new Quinn 2.5 model, and to see if across the board, if it is going to be the most capable model, at least in terms of benchmarks for an open source model. So right now, that title has gone to from Facebook parent company Meta and their Meta Llama 3.1 405B. But the fact that reportedly a 72 billion parameter model in Quinn 2.5 is outbenching a 405 billion parameter model. It's pretty noteworthy. So yeah, this is early so far. So we'll see if this holds true on all other benchmarks, but at least with the service Live Bench AI, this new model pretty far ahead right now. All right, Salesforce, y'all. So Salesforce is launching a free AI training initiative with a $50 million investment, and this is open to all. So Salesforce has announced a significant move to enhance AI skills in the workforce by unveiling its AI for All initiative, which promises free AI training opportunities. So this initiative is pretty newsworthy as it just follows, Salesforce just had their Dreamforce conference and they announced their Agent Force. So, hey, there's another one I came up with a hot take on last year, saying that there's going to be more AI agents than humans this year. And hey, the Salesforce CEO himself said he foresees more than 1 billion agents just from Agent Force. So every time y'all think I'm crazy, one of the biggest companies in the world, a year later, comes and says, oh yeah, we're going to have 1 billion agents. So Salesforce will waive all fees for its AI for all, for its instructor-led AI courses and credential programs on its Trailhead training program until the end of 2025. So yeah, you got a good 15 months if you want to go dive into that AI for all training. But hey, why wait if it's free and available now? So Salesforce plans to also establish a physical AI training hub at its San Francisco headquarters dedicated to upskilling employees in AI tools and technology. So this training initiative represents a pretty substantial investment of $50 million aimed at supporting communities and addressing the growing demand for AI expertise. Yeah. Upskilling, reskilling, cross-skilling, skill sharing, right? All these skill acronyms, they've really been the buzzword of 2024 because when we talk about the potential disruption that AI has on jobs, right? Even Agent Force, right? We talked about this last Monday on the AI News That Matters, but very seemingly impressive technology that Salesforce is rolling out where essentially different agents, you can put them on your website, it can connect to your customer data, you can build guardrails. It is a low code and no code solution, and it can handle inquiries seemingly very well. So you might think like, okay, well, what's going to happen to potentially all these, customer support, marketing, sales jobs? Well, we're not sure. But what we do know is upskilling and reskilling is going to continue to be one of the most talked about facets, I'd say, for the next 6 months because y'all follow the money. I'm not a pessimist. I am a realist. I follow the trends. I follow the money. I personally think AI is going to take away, quote unquote, take away more jobs than it will ultimately create. So if you are listening now, don't worry. Just by tuning in every day, by reading our newsletter, you're ahead of your peers, but you also need to be training yourself. Take advantage of all these free training opportunities while they exist. We had the founder of Grow with Google on the show last week talking about some of their free training resources as well. OpenAI as well, just literally minutes ago, announced a new training collaboration as well with their OpenAI Academy. So go take advantage of all of these free resources right now. All right, and let's wrap it up. Speaking of OpenAI, gotta save the best for last, right? Gotta save the juicy stuff for the end. So OpenAI's Sam Altman has announced some major advancements, at least with their own internal metrics on their new O1 AI model. So yeah, that's the model that was just released about 2 weeks ago. So, originally this was called Q-Star. Then it was called Strawberry, but now the official name we know is O1. So OpenAI did just release this more reasoning model. And y'all, please, everyone's getting this wrong. This is not GPT O1. This is just called OpenAI O1. So right now there is the O1 preview and the O1 mini that is available for paid subscribers. And depending on what other tools you use, a lot of third-party tools have started to roll out this new model in their APIs as well. So here's what's different, right? And I need to call this out because, even people who are quote unquote AI experts are getting this wrong. This is not a GPT model. This is two different classes. So we will continue to see updates to OpenAI's GPT-4o model. So, right, whether we see a GPT-4.5, maybe GPT-5 in the coming weeks or months, we'll see. There's been some rumors. We might see some updates on something tomorrow with advanced voice mode. So we'll see if that actually comes to fruition or not. But these are two separate classes. You have your GPT class, and right now, at least what it's called, is you have your O1 class, this advanced reasoning model. Two different things, two different classes. So Altman was at a T-Mobile event where OpenAI and T-Mobile talked about some different partnerships. But I'd say the biggest takeaway from this is Sam Altman did essentially admit that with the O1 model, they've reached their own internal kind of stage 2. So OpenAI a couple months ago, whether you want to say leaked or released, but there are 5 different stages or 5 steps to AGI or artificial general intelligence, right? That is when the average AI model is smarter and more capable than the smartest human beings. And essentially, Sam Altman in this interview with T-Mobile did say, yeah, this is stage 2. This is the reasoning level, out of their 5 stages. So Altman outlined previously the 5 levels of AI development, essentially saying that the new O1 model, this strawberry, is now at level 2. Or reasoners, and then with the potential for the next level, level 3, which is agents, to emerge shortly, right? He essentially said once we reach this level 2, which, level 2 in theory took a while, took a couple of years. He did say that reaching level 3, which is capable agents, will emerge shortly. So here's the thing, y'all. This new model, O1, it is completely different, right? There is no comparison. Yes, I think we compare it to other models out there, maybe comparing it to models from Anthropic, such as Claude 3.5 Sonnet, comparing it to models such as Google Gemini, their 1.5. These are different things, right? I almost wish that it wasn't even in the same benchmarking programs because it is a new class of model. It is a reasoning model. So even, right, we teach Prime Prompt Polish, right? Our free prompt engineering course that we've taught to now more than 7,000 business professionals, right? That's not really going to work with a new model like O1 in a reasoning model because it does a lot of this kind of chain of thought thinking underneath the surface. So right now, this is the only model that kind of really reasons and behaves like this. But we will, I do think that this new update from OpenAI is going to kind of force Claude and Anthropic to release some updates, both from a pricing and an API perspective, right? Because what these models are capable of for other companies using the API, I'm pretty sure Anthropic has to be sweating. If I'm Anthropic, y'all got to release something in the next couple of weeks because I know people are jumping ship. Everyone's either going to OpenAI with this new O1 model or opting for Google Gemini because I think their API product is great. I think their front end product is not the front end Gemini chat, but the back end for API is great. So pretty significant news here from OpenAI and, kind of talking that, hey, this is a pivot, at least for our, OpenAI's own internal path toward AGI and saying, hey, we have now achieved a reasoning model, a model that can think under the hood. And now the next iteration is agents. And two things on that, right? And just kind of set the record straight because, this O1 model, a lot of people are talking about it. I think a lot of people are getting it wrong. Well, first of all, it's not a GPT model. I already talked about that. 2 other things that you need to know and that I think are important, right? Number 1, this isn't the most powerful O1, right? This is technically O1 preview and O1 mini, which is what we all have access to, right? But at least on initial benchmarks, the actual O1 model, which has not been released, is significantly more powerful than what we've all been playing with over the last 2 weeks, right? Wish the limits were higher. If you're a front end user, you only get 50 prompts a week with O1 preview, and you get 50 a day with O1 mini. So it is very limited. But here's the other thing, y'all. And we talked about this last week on our AI agent show. So I recommend you go back and listen to that one. That one took a lot of research, and I think it's really worth listening to, episode 361. But right now, O1 does not have access to tools, right? So I think when you combine, right, when we kind of get the quote unquote upgrade from O1 preview and we get the O1 model, and then we add the tools that the GPT class has available to it, I think right there, that is a very powerful agent. My gosh, right? Because right now, this new model O1 does not have access to the web, right? So it doesn't have access to use the tool Browse with Bing, right? We talked about on our AI agent show, kind of what separates a large language model from an agent. And one of them is tool access. Another one is access to data. So right now, you can't easily share your data with the O1 model. You can't upload files like you can with the GPT class. So all these things that you can do with GPT 4.0, right? Access the web with Browse with Bing. Code interpreter or advanced data analysis, browse with Bing, DAL lead, the ability to upload files, right? The ability to, kind of chat with other GPTs and keep it in the context window. All of these outside tools we do not have access to. So we have very limited access to the O1 model in a silo, right? So I do think this is going to change both just how we work, and it's going to change what's capable, right? Imagine when O1, as an example, comes to Copilot, right? So we talked about this on our AI agent show as well. Copilot with their Wave 2 announcements for Microsoft 365 Copilot, pretty powerful, right? But they did say, hey, we will eventually be rolling out this new O1 model. So right now, Copilot in their Wave 2 announcements powered by GPT-4o, but imagine when you get the O1 model. This is changing how work is done in front of our very eyes. All right, y'all. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please let me know. Please share this with your network, right? It takes us many hours every single day to bring you free, unbiased, high quality information and news about AI, about generative AI, because I want you to be the smartest person in your company when it comes to AI. I want everyone to turn to you and be like, hey, what do we do here on this AI initiative? I want this to be the place, Everyday AI, where you can not just keep up with what's going on in AI, but where you can get ahead. So if this has helped, please, if you're listening on the live stream, please share this with your network. It takes a couple of seconds. Tag a friend that needs to hear this, that needs to know about Everyday AI. If you're on the podcast, please leave us a rating, subscribe, and reach out. Check the show notes, reach out, but more importantly, go to youreverydayai.com, sign up for the free daily newsletter. Every single day, we recap our live stream episode. So if this was a lot, if your head's spinning, don't worry. We're going to be breaking down the recap on our newsletter. So thank you for tuning in, and we hope to see you back tomorrow in Every Day for more Everyday AI. Thanks, y'all.
And that's a wrap for today's edition of Everyday AI. Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a rating. It helps keep us going. For a little more AI magic, visit youreverydayai.com and sign up to our daily newsletter so you don't get left behind. Go break some barriers, and we'll see you next time.